Here we have the John Deere STX38 manual transmission version, and it sports a Kohler Command 12.5 overhead valve engine, and the engine seems pretty good. The only problems I'm having are strange oil leaks. We have figured out that it's probably leaking oil here, which I can't quite remember what that is. I think it's something to do with the throttle. My friend pointed it out, that it's a common place. Yeah, it's moving, so it's definitely some sort of throttle piece. And it was also leaking oil here, but just removing the dipstick pipe and putting it back in fixed it. We didn't even need a new O-ring. And the only work that's been done to this engine is a partial fuel line replacement and replacing the filter and routine maintenance. I haven't had any need to mow with this, so the deck remains off. The seat is getting a little worn, but oh well. It'll just slowly get covered with duct tape until it's a duct tape chair. And the parking brake as well as the actual brakes are useless because that part in the transmission has failed and needs to be replaced. It's a fairly simple piece, but you have to take the whole axle and transmission apart to fix it. And modifications that I have made to this mower is put a ball hitch on it for towing trailers, and even in fifth gear at idle, it's pretty good about towing most things. Sometimes you need to drop down into lower gears when towing things if you're going up a hill or, you know, like pulling a heavy load. The frame isn't really built for towing, but oh well, it seems to handle it okay. In fact, there's not much frame at all. It's just bent metal. You can't see that, but oh well. Tick season, gotta be careful. And I've got a little rope here for towing things without hitches, and that's the old seat thing that detected when you were on the seat and shut off the engine if you had the deck going and or it was in gear when you were not on the seat, which I found annoying and disabled. And then I attached a 12-volt power outlet to the battery for very important functions, such as running an air compressor, or like one of those 12-volt air compressors, or even more important functions, such as turning the mower on because apparently the battery is too low for it to function. Oh wow, that is toast. Hold on. Okay, well, never mind. I just had it in gear and it doesn't start in gear because I haven't disabled the transmission safety yet. And the thing actually turned on just before I started it, so I think it's just being weird. But anyways, as you can see, a very important function, such as powering an inverter to power your Christmas lights on your trailer. Or, you know, some sort of practical application if you're some sort of practical person. But eventually I will switch to LED lights, at which point I will mount trailer lights, because this does have a 13 amp, what do you call it? Not an alternator, but does the same thing. Forget what it's called in engines, that like, maybe a coil, I guess? But it has a 13 amp coil at maximum RPM, and probably considerably less at less RPM. So incandescent bulbs draw a lot of power, so once I get LEDs, at which point I'll probably have enough overhead, or lack of overhead, so I can do trailer lights, like brake lights, but not actually hooked to the non-existent brakes, because that would be like really hard and pretty useless. And as you can see, in the middle of June, I do have my snow chains on, and they have proved useful even to this point. In fact, the mud just got cleared up, but still there's points where I've needed that extra traction that snow chains can provide. But thanks for watching this video. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave a comment. Otherwise, just drop a like if you liked it, and go watch another video, I guess, or do something with your time. See ya. One more thing that I had forgotten to mention is that the steering thing might have been replaced at some point, because we have a part for, like, one of the parts for the steering assembly lying around, and I can't think of anything else that's been replaced. So it's held together. This is a pretty old mower. Early 90s, or possibly even late 80s, I believe. Yeah, it had a little steering thing there. As you can see, it drives on its own just fine. It's officially a silly little mower.